Her car is found a stone's throw away from where you work. That bother you? Doesn't bother you at all. Okay. Her car is found porch a stone's throw away from where you work. That doesn't bother you? Does it make you nervous that we may think you did something? It should.
Meet Lester Jones, a man whose life changed forever in 1999. Convicted of first-degree sexual assault and the kidnapping of his wife, this gripping story of betrayal and desperation will leave you breathless.
Where'd you go Sunday? What'd you do Sunday?
We didn't do anything. We just
What'd you tell your wife you did Sunday? I have investigators out talking to your wife. Okay. What'd you do Sunday evening?
I went to bed.
Incorrect. Okay. Les, I need to be able to tell this family reasonable things. One on this. Let you know maybe they need some closure.
I would, yes.
Okay. They need some closure.
Are you saying that I killed her? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
I did not.
You have nothing to show that.
I have not seen her. I did not kill her.
Go ahead, you can keep talking because I'm waiting to hear maybe you should.
I can't show you. I didn't do it.
Were you near a car?
No.
Why'd you leave the house Sunday night?
To shut the shop lights off.
How long?
Minimal time to come down for right.
At the time of this interview, in 2007, he was the prime suspect in the disappearance of Paige Birgfeld. Before jumping to conclusions about Lester Jones as the culprit in this situation, it is important to understand how he found himself in this predicament initially. Paige Birgfeld was an active member of the Grand Junction, Colorado community, managing multiple businesses and participating in various clubs. Additionally, she was a single mother to 3 children, Jess, Taft, and Trigger, following her divorce from her ex-husband, Rob Dixon, in 2006. On June 28, 2007, Paige's children and her friend and babysitter, Carol Linderholm, started to grow increasingly concerned about her disappearance. This type of behavior was completely out of character for Paige, leading them to leave multiple distressed voicemails that evening.
Hi, Mom, it's me. I was just wondering when you get home. Love you. Bye.
Hey, this is Carol. What's going on? I hope you're all right.
During the following days, Paige continued to be unaccounted for, and additional voicemails were sent without receiving any response.
Hey, Mom, you are really, really mean. You said you would be testimony. Did you want to be with my phone?
Give me a call on my cell phone. Hey, it's Carol. Where the heck are you?
A family friend takes Jess to the Mesa County Sheriff's Office to file a missing persons report for Paige, who has been out of contact since Thursday evening. With mounting concern, the police launch an intense investigation, while search efforts began immediately.
It's just really tough, for people to give of themselves to that degree.
We're looking for clues to find that person, but there's somebody maybe who's watching this who knows where she is.
As the search party continued their efforts, investigators also examined the possibility of someone else being involved in Paige's disappearance. They initially turned their attention to her 2 ex-husbands, who were the most obvious suspects. Paige Birgfeld and Ron Beigler were childhood sweethearts who got married soon after finishing high school. However, their marriage was short-lived due to Paige's desire to pursue a career as a midwife. Despite this, Ron followed her to Gainesville, where they lived together near the university campus. Unfortunately, Paige's academic performance suffered, leading her to eventually drop out and return to Colorado with Ron. Paige was an optimistic person, eager to start a new life with Ron and build a family. However, their differing views on starting a family caused significant strain in their relationship. While Paige longed for children and a close-knit family, Ron hesitated and felt overwhelmed by the responsibilities. This fundamental disagreement eventually led to their divorce in 1997. Interestingly, Ron and Paige stayed in touch over the years, even during her second marriage. In fact, Ron met with Paige just hours before she went missing. They had a picnic at a park in Eagle, Colorado, and parted ways after a few hours. Cell phone records confirmed that they were in contact as they traveled back to their respective cities. The last communication from Paige to Ron was about being caught in traffic caused by a car accident, which was later verified by the police. However, this incident took place beyond her house, around 5 miles away. Ron, her ex-husband, grew concerned when she didn't inform him about reaching home safely.
Hi, where are you? Call me if you get a chance. I'm getting worried about you.
And he was the one who made the first 911 call to report her disappearance.
Dispatch, this is Clint.
Yes, I need to talk about a missing person emergency.
Okay. And who is missing?
Her name is Paige Dixon.
How old is Paige?
She's 33.
Okay.
And she hasn't been home all night Thursday night, all day yesterday, and today. Something is definitely wrong. She either got abducted or...
Moving on to her second marriage, Paige didn't waste much time after her divorce with Ron before meeting a new man named Rob Dixon. Rob's parents had amassed a fortune through early investments in cell phone technology, which allowed him to lead a lavish lifestyle. He owned 6 sports cars, including a standout bright yellow Ferrari, which was quite unusual for a small town like Grand Junction. Rob showered Paige with extravagant gifts, including a necklace worth $12,000. And when he proposed, he presented her with an engagement ring worth $85,000. The couple then eloped to Las Vegas to tie the knot and bought a spacious home in Grand Junction, nestled on a hill with stunning natural views. Unlike her previous marriage, Paige and Rob started a family right away. They had a daughter named Jess, followed by 2 sons named Taft and Trigger. Paige was living the dream life she had always desired. However, the extravagant lifestyle that Rob had created for them turned out to be financially unsustainable. The resulting financial pressures caused strain in their marriage, leading to Rob becoming increasingly reactive. In October 2004, Paige made a distressing 911 call after a heated argument between them.
911, where's your emergency?
My husband and I were in a fight. He wanted the children to stay with him, and he said that I would come home and find them all murdered.
What's your name, ma'am?
Although the police successfully diffused the situation, and no charges were filed. But a year later, in October 2005, Paige made another 911 call, accusing Rob of physically assaulting her while she was holding one of their sons. Rob was arrested on charges of child abuse and third-degree assault, but eventually, he pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of misdemeanor harassment and was ordered to attend anger management programs. After enduring a tumultuous marriage for 8 years, Paige and Rob finally divorced. Rob filed for bankruptcy and moved to Philadelphia, while Paige, with custody of the children, stayed in their luxurious home in Grand Junction. Although it seemed like Paige had ended up better off after the divorce, Rob's bankruptcy added to her financial responsibilities. Struggling to cover bills and a $6,000 mortgage, Paige took on multiple jobs. She taught dance lessons to children, excelled as a top salesperson for a kitchen supplies company, and participated in a support group for stay-at-home moms called Mom's Club. Despite her busy schedule, Paige always made time for her kids. To manage everything, Paige relied on a meticulous notebook that kept track of important events, such as upcoming appointments, soccer games, and parent-teacher meetings. She showed great resilience in handling the financial burden left by her previous marriage. However, in June 2007, Rob expressed his desire to return to Colorado and be involved with the children once again. This made Paige anxious, and she became increasingly concerned about the safety of her family. Just a week before her disappearance, friends noticed her heightened sense of unease. Fast forward to the investigation, the police quickly focused their attention on Rob as the primary suspect, primarily due to his previous history of domestic violence. However, Rob's alibi proved to be robust, as the police verified that he was in Philadelphia, approximately 2,000 miles away, on the day Paige disappeared. Moreover, Rob was among the concerned individuals who left frantic voicemails for her.
Paige, if you get this, please call somebody. Please come home. Please tell us that you're all right. Everybody's worried about you. Everybody's looking for you. Please, Paige, let us know that you're okay. Please. please call someone.
Although the police temporarily shifted their focus away from Rob, they remained aware of Paige's apprehensions about him in the week leading up to her disappearance. If Rob was somehow involved, it would be evident that his motive was to regain custody of his children. On the night of July 1st, a significant development occurred in the case.
911, this is Desi. Where's your emergency?
Hi, I'm at the corner of 23 and Logos, and there is a car on fire in the parking lot at the building right here.
There's a car on fire?
Yeah.
Do you see flames or smoke?
Yeah, there's a lot of flames.
A call was made to emergency services regarding a burning red Ford Focus in a nearby parking lot. To their surprise, it turned out to be Paige's vehicle, just a short distance away from her residence. The fire was rapidly extinguished by firefighters, allowing investigators to collect some valuable evidence from the wreckage. One notable observation was that the driver's seat of the car appeared to be adjusted for someone taller than Paige, implying that another person had recently operated it. Furthermore, amidst the charred remains, Paige's notebook was discovered intact, shielded by a melted dashboard. Upon close examination, it was noted that pages from the days surrounding her disappearance, specifically the 26th to the 29th, were missing. It was becoming increasingly evident that this was more than just a typical missing persons case.
Hopeful when we found the car, things would fall into place, and maybe they will. This isn't a situation where Paige left on her own volition. You know, it occurred to me I hadn't cried in a long time. I've learned how to do that.
The discovery served as a catalyst for intensifying the search for Paige, leading to an even more extensive investigation.
Just seeing the dad on TV and everything like that, and I have, some children of my own, and I know what I'd be feeling like if one of my children was gone, and I just wanted to try to help if I could.
Just south of Grand Junction, along Highway 50, more clues started to emerge. Volunteers discovered over 100 items belonging to Paige, spread out over a 15-mile stretch. Among the items were her children's medical cards, wallet, blank checks for her business account, and other personal belongings that she wouldn't easily discard. Detectives had two possible theories. Someone had abducted Paige and scattered her belongings to mislead the investigation, or Paige herself had purposely thrown her belongings out of the vehicle to leave a trail. However, this trail of evidence led them to a riverbank, where their search yielded no results. One significant item found along the trail was an advertisement for a company called Models, Inc. This item caught the investigators' attention as they dug deeper into Paige's phone records. It became clear that, alongside her legitimate businesses, she was also involved in a more provocative line of work.
Hello, you've reached Models, Inc., Colorado's premier gentleman's service. Colorado's premier gentleman's service.
Paige had been working as an escort, advertising her services under the alias of Carrie on websites like Glist and naughtynightlife.com. This revelation shed light on her failed marriages, as her nighttime activities had played a role in the deterioration of her relationships. During her marriage to Ron Beigler, she defied his wishes and took up part-time work at a strip club, which eventually led to their divorce. It was at the same strip club that she encountered high roller Rob Dixon. After her marriages, it appeared that she returned to this lucrative line of work to stabilize her financial situation. Her friend Carol Linderholm, who was babysitting her children at the time of her disappearance, was the only person aware of Paige's secret business. It turned out that several potential clients had reached out to her on the night she went missing.
Yeah, this is Motel 6, room 237. I was just checking to see if you had somebody coming out or not. Thank you.
Yes, this is Buddy. I was wondering if you had any girls available this afternoon.
Hello, my name is Bill. Just calling to see if anybody's still available for the night.
Hello, yeah, this is Jim. Just calling to see if Carrie was available tonight. I'm going to go get me a motel room now.
In the quest to find Carrie, the investigation focused on a man named Jim, who had made 5 calls to her on the day she went missing. These calls were traced back to a prepaid track phone, and the last call was made from Paige to Jim's track phone, indicating they had made contact. The detectives were able to locate the device, which was purchased from a local Walmart on June 26th. By cross-referencing the purchase time with the store's records, they positively identified Jim as Lester Jones, the man being interrogated earlier in this video. Standing at 6'5", he matched the description of someone who would adjust a driver's seat to accommodate his height.
I didn't touch her. I haven't seen her.
Les, don't even say that to me anymore. I don't even want to hear it.
Didn't touch her.
You know.
I have not seen her.
You know where she... Now, Les, I said I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You know where she's located. And you know where she can be found. Just to let you know, your vehicle is going to be seized, and I'll be getting a warrant for it. Okay? And we will probably be seizing some other things and executing some other warrants, just so you know. Okay? All right. Do you have the keys for your truck, or would you just prefer that we do it without I have the keys for it? It's just easier for tow guys to get it to move from one place to another with key. Okay. Would you like the ride back to your business? Okay. Mike, would you mind giving him a ride?
The white Dodge pickup truck owned by Lester holds significant importance in Paige's case. According to Carol, Paige was supposed to meet a familiar client in a white pickup truck after work. However, before she could even leave her workplace, the white truck entered the parking lot but quickly drove away, leaving Paige terrified that the client had discovered her true identity. This client persistently requested her services, even on the night before her disappearance. In order to gather more information, Carol, a friend of Carrie's, agreed to take her place and meet with this suspicious client. During the appointment, the client seemed more interested in asking questions about Carrie than in the massage itself. Carol later identified this client as Lester Jones. Surveillance footage of Paige's workplace revealed that the vehicle seen circling the parking lot was not a truck, but a Chevy Impala. Interestingly, Lester's wife owned a white Chevy Impala during that time. Further investigation at Lester's workplace uncovered compelling evidence, including handwritten notes detailing information about other escorts, such as their bra sizes and the services they had offered. It appeared that Lester was well prepared, as Viagra pills were found in his toolbox drawer, along with multiple wigs. During the investigation, authorities discovered several important items that implicated Lester as a suspect. These included packaging for a track phone, a Victoria's Secret bra that matched Paige's cup size, and a weight scale from her company, the Pampered Chef. Additionally, Lester's boss mentioned that a gas canister was suspiciously out of place on the morning of the incident, just 500 meters away from Paige's burning Ford Focus.
Now you may think, well, maybe he used the gas can. It's RV repair. Maybe they had a gas can. No, police questioned the owners and co-workers, and there was no reason for him to have a gas can at his workspace. Do you have a gas can at your workspace? Because I don't.
The police dogs even tracked Lester's scent to the driver's seat of the vehicle, providing further evidence against him. Despite all this compelling evidence, Lester maintained his innocence during subsequent interrogations.
I never met Paige.
I know for a fact you were meeting Models Incorporated. You called and set an appointment with that track phone.
No, sir.
Yes. Explain to me why the track phone is in your trash at your workspace.
I have no clue why it's in there.
How did that get there?
I don't know.
How did your picture get on a video at the very same time the track phone is being ordered?
I can't tell you that. I was in Walmart and I bought a monster.
Bought monster cable, even though the receipt comes back to a track phone.
I did not
even
buy
though the clerk remembers you having that phone.
I did not buy a track phone.
So video's lying, clerk's lying, receipt's lying. Did you guys go for a ride? Did you go up Highway 50? No. Did she put all this stuff out? How did stuff get up on Highway 50?
I haven't been anywhere with this lady.
During the interrogation, Lester eventually confessed to knowing who Rob was, which seemed like a major breakthrough for the investigators. It made sense that the two men could be working together, with Rob having a motive to regain custody of his children, and Lester having the means to set up an appointment with Paige through her secretive business. However, despite thorough investigation, no evidence linking Rob to Lester in relation to Paige's disappearance was found. This led the detectives to focus solely on Lester as the primary suspect, as they couldn't build a strong case against Rob. 2 days after the interview, the detectives contacted Lester to inform him that his impounded vehicles, obtained through a search warrant, were now available for pickup.
Hello?
Yes, may I speak with Ralph, please?
Hold on, please.
Hello? This is Art Smith with the Sheriff's Office. Just calling to let you know that we have both your cars ready. Are you with Elaine right now?
No.
I'm sorry?
I don't think so.
Mr. Jones, I'm not following you.
You asked me where I would bury a body.
I'm sorry?
You asked me where I could bury a body.
Shortly before this phone call, Lester had become delirious due to a large dose of sleeping medication. The tension between law enforcement and Lester Jones was running high, but there was one crucial piece of evidence missing to justify his arrest: the remains of Paige Birgfeld. While there have been cases in which a suspect is arrested before a body is found, Paige had been living a double life, deceiving those around her. The defense could have easily cast doubt by suggesting that she had run away from her complicated life in Grand Junction, hoping to disappear forever. This could have weakened the prosecution's case against Lester. The disappearance of Paige Birgfeld remained a mystery for almost 5 years. Then, on October 6, 2012, hikers discovered human remains in a dried-up creek bed near Wells Gulch Spring, just a few miles from where the evidence trail was found on Highway 50. Dental records confirmed that the remains were those of Paige Birgfeld. It was likely that her killer had buried her 5 years ago, and over time, heavy spring runoff had exposed what was left.
Remains found yesterday in Delta County by a hiker off Highway 50 1 mile up Wells Gulch Road.
Investigators called this man, Lester Ralph Jones, a suspect then and still do today. There are reports he was a client of her escort service, but he was never charged.
How can one human being treat another human being so badly? I mean, what a bad person. What an evil person.
Finally, the case went from a missing persons case to a homicide, giving investigators the means to take Lester into custody.
So I'm pleased today to stand before you and announce that we have arrested Lester Jones in the kidnapping and murder of Paige Birgfeld.
Due to the case turning cold for a span of 5 years, additional 2 years were required for the case to be built. The trial finally commenced in September 2016, but tensions between both parties were already rising before the trial even began. Ron Beigler, harboring ill will towards Lester, made a comment that caught the attention of the defense. This raised concerns and had to be addressed with the judge before they could proceed.
He wanted Mr. Jones to be found not guilty so that he could kill him and feed him his genitals. I'll use a different word than that.
If you have any outbursts or you do anything in an attempt to harm anybody in the courtroom, that will result in serious consequences.
I think it's over-exaggerated. Sarcasm may be taken out of context.
The prosecution presented a story to the jury, claiming that Lester Jones was infatuated with Paige Birgfeld, but she did not reciprocate his feelings and tried to avoid him. To get Paige's attention, Lester purchased a track phone and pretended to be someone else called Jim. Using this false identity, he lured Paige back to him. It is believed that he then subdued her, used her vehicle to take her to Wells Gulch, where he took her life and buried her. Along the way, Paige left a trail of her belongings as evidence. To support this narrative, Lester's ex-wife, Lisa Nance, testified about their troubled relationship. Lisa described how Lester became controlling and obsessed, monitoring her every move, tapping her phone calls, and even planting secret recording devices. Eventually, Lisa ended the relationship, leading to a violent incident where Lester drove their car into a ditch and shot at Lisa's new boyfriend. Although he escaped with only minor injuries, the encounter showed Lester's violent tendencies. Later, Lester invaded Lisa's home, but instead of being aggressive, he sat quietly on her couch. Using her de-escalation skills, Lisa suggested they go out to dinner, hoping to defuse the situation. However, during the drive, Lester revealed his intentions to kill Lisa and began physically assaulting her. Lisa managed to convince him to have a conversation instead, and he insisted that she prove her love by being intimate with him. After some persuasion, she convinced him to rent a motel room, but as soon as he went inside to check in, she took off in the car. Subsequently, she reported him to the police, resulting in his arrest a few days later. Lester was found guilty of assault and kidnapping and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. The prosecution believed that highlighting this pattern of dangerous behavior was a strong strategy, but their case had some flaws. The defense argued that the investigation was mishandled and that more focus should have been placed on other potential suspects rather than solely targeting Lester. During the trial, the defense brought in alternative suspects to question and presented expert testimony that cast doubt on the accuracy of the dog's scent tracking evidence. If these claims were true, it would undermine the prosecution's narrative. Despite 3 days of jury deliberations, they were unable to reach a unanimous decision, resulting in a mistrial. A new trial was scheduled several months later with a fresh jury.
A man accused of kidnapping and killing a Grand Junction mom who also ran an escort service, well, he is set to go back on trial. Jury selection is now underway in the case of Lester Jones, who's accused in the death of Paige Birgfeld.
In the second trial, the prosecution's closing statement stood out as the key difference. They meticulously analyzed each of the alternative suspects presented by the defense and presented compelling arguments as to why it was improbable for any of them to be the perpetrator. Once more, the jury carefully deliberated for a duration of 3 days.
Jury verdict, count number 1, charge of murder in the first degree, felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Lester Ralph Jones, guilty of count 1, murder in the first degree, felony murder. That is signed by our foreperson. Jury verdict, count number 2, charge of murder in the second degree. We, the jury, find the defendant, Lester Ralph Jones, guilty of count 2, murder in the second degree. That is signed by our foreperson. Jury verdict, count number 3, charge of second degree kidnapping. We, the jury, find the defendant, Lester Ralph Jones, guilty of count 3, charge of second degree kidnapping, and that is signed by the foreperson.
Lester Jones was found guilty of abducting and committing premeditated murder on Paige Birgfeld. The court handed down a life sentence with no chance of parole. Currently incarcerated, Jones maintains his innocence, arguing that there is a lack of concrete evidence linking him to the crime. Thanks for watching. Click right here to uncover the next chilling mystery. We assure you, it'll keep you captivated. See you in the next video.